it's very unpredictable, you know? Most of the creative fields are that way, you know? There's so many people that would love to do something like singing or acting or dancing or drawing professionally, you know, that it's really unpredictable. There's really no way of knowing when the next opportunity is going to come. Sweet. Yes, Pappy. He worked at PCB a lot. But Pappy Brooke.
Oh my God! We know him!
What? The ghost? Did you... Am I not supposed to say that? Let's talk about it. They won't love it. Sorry, did you guys get that? Travis screaming like a girl.
I don't know if we should share this story, but...
So why not? There's nothing taboo about it.
No. Okay. He was really good friends.
Excuse Travis while he goes and wets his pants.
Oh, wow.
Tell the story.
When we learned this story, like literally I walked in the room after Travis heard the story and he was like... He was really good friends with the studio called PCB in LA, and they were really good friends with him. He worked at PCB like all the time, and shortly after he passed away, like stuff started to happen at the studio. Like, and it was just like odd stuff, like they'd be in the room and they're working on Pro Tools, and all of a sudden the screen on the computer would flip up and somebody just scrolled down the mouse really fast, but they hadn't. Or they could be away from the computer and all of a sudden it would do that too. And, or like they'd be down in the room and they'd hear like CDs wrestling in the top, so they'd run up to the top studio and nobody would be there, and then they'd hear CDs wrestling down on the bottom. And it was like this crazy thing that went on for a few months. And then one of the engineers, it's a girl that works there, she like was leaving the studio one night. She said she didn't want to work in this particular studio because stuff kept happening. And before she left, she took her camera phone and she went, "Smile, Bob," and took a picture and left the studio. And then went back and looked at it later, and that you can see him in the picture. Like he's like, yeah. He's like in the booth. You can see a man, and Bob always kept his arm up because he had rib problems, and you can see a man with his arm up, leaning against the side of the wall, like smiling at the camera.
Yeah, it's freaky, you guys. I went to record there, and Valerie, one of the Keith and Val, the owners of the studio, they were like, "Look at this picture! Look at this picture!
Oh my gosh!
Do you see it? Do you see it?" I mean, it was
crazy.
Freaky, yeah.
And then, so they have that picture, and then they're in there one night, and it's happening again, and the computer monitor starts scrolling and going crazy. So the engineer like walks up to the studio and said, "Hello," and it scrolled again. And what did she go up and say? She like said, "Yeah, like, is this Bob?" or something, and it did it again. And then she went up to the computer and typed in, "Do you know that you're dead?" And nothing happened after that. It like stopped. Everything stopped after that. And they haven't had any occurrences. Oh my God. Yeah. And Travis was like crying like a little girl.
Intense. Thanks for bringing that painful memory up. Yeah. No, Bob. Yeah, he was a really nice guy,
really
good
cool,
voice actor guy, and that was really nice of them to dedicate that to him.
They told the story, Bob, not me.
Question. Yes, sir.
Where did you guys first meet? Did you meet in the actual studio, or did you meet when you did the autographs and stuff and you went to different places?
Travis and I met in a bathroom. He was reaching under the stuff. Wow. I remember the first time I ever spoke to Travis was on the phone, on Mike McFarlane's phone. I was in Funimation recording Full Metal, and we were already several episodes in, and Mike, he called Mike, or Mike had called him while we were recording, and he said, "Hey, you want to say hi to Travis? He plays Mustang." And I jumped on the phone. I'm like, "Dude, I love you. You're awesome." He's like, "Yeah, you're awesome." We just had great time chatting and talking about how much we were looking forward to seeing each other. What was the first event?
I don't know. It might have been like a con or something. I can't remember. I don't know.
Strange, all these years ago. I don't know.
And I remember when I first started working at Funimation, I heard stories. Stories about this uber talented, sweet, beautiful girl that worked at Funimation named Laura Bailey. I'm not kidding. Everybody talked about you, and I'm like, where is she? Where is she?
The goddess of Funimation.
Yes. They love her at Funimation.
Laura and I met doing a commercial.
It was an indie film. No, what was it? It was called Net Talk Live. It was some random TV show, and we were with the same agency, like back 10 years ago now.
99.
Oh my gosh.
We're like extras.
We were extras. We were in the background. We were sat at the same table, and we were supposed to pretend talk. And so we pretend talked for like 8 hours, and then at the end of it, we're like, "Hey, nice meeting you." See you later.
Now, weren't you the one that told him about Funimation, right?
Well, no.
Wait a minute. Wasn't that?
What
how did
happened
that
was
work?
he was a big Dragon Ball Z
Right, I
nerd.
remember that story, but big Dragon Ball Z nerd.
I've seen every single episode of Dragon Ball Z.
I went over to his house recently and found his collection of Dragon Ball Z.
VHS, baby! Super Target.
And like a ton of DBZ action figures, all like put up, all pretty like. And this is before he was a voiceover actor.
I bugged her for 2 years to get me an audition at Funimation. She's like, oh yeah, totally. Never happened. Never. Uh-huh. No,
Give your name to the janitor.
That's my dog.
Doc Mousy.
Travis, did you buy your VHS tapes, or did you do like a lot of this and get up and put swim up and watch it? Yeah.
I definitely did some Tsunami recording. I did that a couple times, but most of it was with the Super Target. Bought it real fast. Me and my roommate did, so he took half the collection. I had everything before, so there's a lot of things. I do have the beginning part. Yeah, I have the beginning part. I got the better half.
Dad, I came in at the end.
Then you suck.
I think when we first started talking, and this is funny listening to this, because when you and I first started talking, you were more jazzed about the fact that I played Broly
Yes.
than even anything of Full Metal. Who cares about that?
Jazzed or jealous? One or the other.
You'd make a good Broly.
Broly was cool.
You'd make a good Broly.
I remember I was very proud of you because I watched it. They were like, they better do Broly right,
Really?
and you did. I was
Thanks,
like,
dude. I love you.
well done.
Thank you. Next question. Yes.
How did it feel playing in the Oran High School Host Club, Tamaki, knowing that she was such a ladies' man?
That must have been a stretch for you.
Well, I'm not. See, I already had a retort, and I'm not even going to say it because I just love you. No, you know what? It was funny because like 15 minutes into recording, we first episode, Kayla and I just started, and 10 or 15 minutes in, she said, "You know what? I just thought of something." And I said, "What?" She said, "Tamaki is kind of a mixture of 3 of your more well-known roles." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" She goes, "Well, he's got that romantic, soft side, like, ladies' man side, like Dark Mousy. But then he also has a very intellectual, very articulate side, like Fi from Tsubasa. But then he spazzes out all the time, like Ed from Full Metal." So when we started thinking about that, we were like, yeah, he's kind of a mixture of all those things. So I love that character. And especially the second half of the series, the last few episodes, with he and Kyoya. And when you